Jill, you have no idea how excited that me and Kitty are right now.
Nice. And we got the recording going as well. Hey, everyone, this is episode 394. This is the raw version of it going out, and we are streaming, and this is August 11th of 2020. The podcast will then be edited and will go out as an edited podcast tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and tweet out that we are live, and we'll get going on the actual podcast in just a couple minutes. And
Yep.
I need to mute that.
Pre-show.
That's
I'm gonna
right.
post
Behind
C, not Control
behind the
V.
scenes.
I'm gonna post this in some places.
394.
I'm the drama queen. I suck at whatever program we're using to do notes in.
Google Docs. It's because
Yeah.
you're not. Don't worry. Give it a little bit of time.
I'm so bad at why is all my text red all the time?
There we go. Yeah, that was weird, but I didn't touch it because
I don't know.
it was your stuff.
Yeah, I'll misspell a word too, and I'm like, oh, that's embarrassing. Try to erase it, and I'm like, ah, shit. Looks like it's there to stay.
All right. Yeah, we're just about ready there. Let's see. Looks like, yep, some people are already in chat. Awesome. Looks like the stream looks good too. Excellent. All right, I'm going to put that on pause then, so I don't have it distracting me in the background. And let's see, let's just go over there. All right. So yeah, we'll talk about the new player episode during the. We'll do a little.
No.
Little Sarlacc digest.
Yeah. Just like a preview.
Yeah. And we'll let you tell whatever you want to tell, and whatever you can't tell is fine too. Or I'm not willing to tell is fine too. So that's all good. All right. It's 5:30. Are you guys ready?
I am
I was
ready.
born ready.
All right. Going in 5 then. Hi, and welcome to the Ootinicast, the podcast that can be reasonable. This is episode 394, being recorded on Tuesday, August 11th, 2020. I'm your host, Chill, and with me as a co-host, KittyKissz. Hey, Kitty.
Hello.
And we've got returning guest Marcus from Working Class Nerds. Yay, Marcus, how you doing?
Where's the horn? Beep, 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 beep.
So what have you been up to in your life? It's been you, as you were saying before we started. This has been a little while since your last appearance, so we're happy to have you back.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm super excited. So first thing first, right? So first, congratulations to you two. The show is still as awesome as always. Now that Doc's life has gotten crazy, Kitty stepped in, and the show has. I feel like you guys play such a similar way that the chat, your stories are incredible, because Kitty will mention something about a part of a story and you'll know right away, and then you guys will dive down it, and it's like the rabbit hole. Who's going to dig deeper today? And I feel like your symmetry and everything is so awesome. So congratulations for the both of you.
Awesome.
Thanks, Marcus.
So I've been doing the usual things in SOTOR. So I actually graduated to Nightmare, which I'm
nice.
not good at it. And we're not talking about Nightmare Space Barbie. We're talking about Nightmare Operations. So
Real stuff.
yeah. So my Saturday night team that I'm on is currently running Nightmare EC,
Nice.
Explosive Conflict, which until you do it, you don't realize how hard. When somebody says they hit like a truck, you don't realize that until you actually get hit by the group.
Yep.
And Death Star Troopers, which is the team that Doc is on, we finally beat Revan, and after months of trying to beat him,
Wow.
we finally beat him, and now we've progressed on to hard mode Gods from the Machine.
That's awesome.
Oh, sweet.
Yep. And later at some point, I want to talk to you guys about gearing a little bit, because I'm really confused on. So I look at it as if there's the best in slot gear set. Once you have that, what is the point of getting another gear set that you're never going to use? Is it just to have it to take up inventory space? Or, I guess I look at it as is I'm never going to wear another set of gear unless it's maybe that the XP gear that you got from the Dark versus Light.
Right.
But I don't understand why you would wear another set of gear if the best in slot is the gear you're wearing.
It's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Being an altaholic, I know Chill is an altaholic as well. Having multiple sets is great because maybe you're playing a Shadow, and then next thing you're playing a Sork, then you're playing a Marauder, and then you're playing tank on something. So having multiple sets can be really, really great. But you know what? I just use the Victor set right now on everything. I'll throw tank gear in it for my tank or whatever, but I'm kind of putting stuff together.
Yeah, Victor's is good for any solo stuff. I would say, as far as like doing it on like more than one set on one character, I would probably do that only if there was like one that's better for PvP, one that's better for PvE. That's probably about the only reason that I would actually bother. Because if I have if it's the best one in PvE and it's solid in PvP and there's maybe nothing that like really grabs me, I'm not going to switch it. But there's some really cool PvP sets out there that like add a lot of utility or just add, like a whole extra stun that you didn't have before, stuff like that. And there are, for that reason I would, but in practice, I don't do a lot of it. I mostly am just sticking with one set.
Right. So I see Intisar in the chat asks me about my DPS set.
Mm-hmm.
So as a tank, you have your tank set and your DPS set, but after that, you don't need another set. So there's like 10 sets, but I guess maybe I'm just a one-track mind, and I'm like, okay, I have my set, I'm done. So now I have all these tech fragments that I do nothing with. And I guess I'm kind of I'm lost, and every day it pops up as soon as I open up that window. You are at the maximum amount of tech fragments. And you're like, all right. So here's, and then the last thing, big shout out to Yumi Akuza. I troll Twitch all the time. And I find people who have a couple of viewers, and I always pop into the chat and I always say, hey, everybody, I like to make myself known everywhere and support all the SOTOR streamers. I really enjoy that. And so Yumi Akuza is brand new to SOTOR. And I was talking to her last night on her stream, and she's on the Satil Shan, knows nobody. And I told her, like, we got to get her into the Utini guilds. And so hopefully at some point we can track her down, or when she's in game or streaming that we can find her. So I will put it in the show notes for everybody. If you guys can go find her page and shoot her a follow and let's help her get in Utini guilds, because she needs a guild. Cool. But other than that,
nice.
And for the record, I'm really excited that my bromance is happening right now. Kitty and I talk all the time, so like I'm really excited for this.
That is cool. Excellent. All right. Kitty, what have you been up to?
I've been waiting for this moment. I started a countdown clock for when I was actually going to get to meet Marcus.
Nice.
I feel like I dropped the ball. I already told Marcus earlier, but I was going to get his address and I was going to send him a pizza during the stream, but I just got lazy and didn't do it and felt weird about, asking people, hey, what's Marcus's address?
Right.
I'm going to send him a pizza. Yeah, sure you are, you creep.
but tell him the story why. So I guess we got to ask Chill. Ask him.
Ask him? Oh, yeah, okay. So do you think that pineapple goes on pizza?
Oh, not my favorite. Yeah, no, I like the meaty and the veggie, the regular veggie.
All right.
I mean,
Right, it's
I've
poison.
had it. You know, my late wife used to enjoy it, so sometimes I would have it, but it's not my choice.
It's my favorite. That is the way I get my pizza. I love it. So
Nice.
this was I think this carried over 3 of Kitty's streams, and I actually named my stream Pineapple Pizza because I love it so much. And you don't realize, you don't realize how much you love pineapple on pizza until people talk about it, and
That's
the
funny.
rage that comes back. You know, people are like pepperoni
Right.
or nothing.
Right. People get pissed.
You'll have to thank Canada then, because that's where it was invented.
It's
French
it's like when
Canadian.
you say
There
that
you go.
someone's favorite band sucks. They immediately get mad at you.
Yeah. Well, I must say, I mean, like, you know, years and years ago, I really was against it. But, you know, when my wife,
Vehemently?
bought it once in a while, and, you know, I eventually got used to it. And I see how people can like it. It's just that I like the savory. When I eat pizza, I want it to be savory, and I just
And-
prefer that.
And you don't want to die of pineapple poisoning. It makes total sense.
Pineapple
I get it.
poisoning.
Exactly. Yeah, so
Nice.
we've been going back and forth and pineapple pizza. No, yay. It's been pretty funny. So I've been waiting to meet Marcus for a long time. I'm stoked. Stoked to have you here, bud.
I'm so happy to be here. It's been too long. Can we not wait so long for me to come back?
Yeah,
The next
definitely.
time.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
You have an open invitation, right? So this week, I hurt my foot last week,
Yeah.
so I've been in like a foot cast,
Oh,
or
man.
like one of those walking casts.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it just sucks. But it feels like it's starting to get a little bit better, so I'm stoked that that's making its way, to where I'm going to be able to walk normally again. And I've been doing a lot of streaming, and I don't know. I always make my stream noob friendly. So if anybody's
Mhm.
listening to this and you're looking for a stream, you see KittyKissz is on, pop in. Don't feel ashamed about asking any questions. My chat is very, very knowledgeable about the game, knowledgeable about Star Wars. So if you ever, have any questions, pop in. Don't feel stupid. You're always welcome. Be good to have you there.
Cool.
And then I started making a new tune. I wanted to start PvPing,
Hmm.
if you can call what I
Whoa.
do PvPing.
Whoa.
I know what you mean.
You're gonna do ranked? Are you gonna do the ranked PvP?
I don't know. I'm kind of a puss when it comes to that stuff. But we'll see. So I asked Chad, I'm like, hey, what's a good class for PvP? And I made a Sork.
Hmm.
And it's fun. I've been
Well,
having a
so-
blast.
I will agree because Max, of Escape Podcast Max.
Right.
Max, so whenever we do our guild PvP event where we go to like the Rishi Stronghold, and it's always everybody try to kill Max, and whenever he's on his Sork, it's really hard to kill him.
Ugh, I get my ass kicked all the time.
Well, me too.
But it's fun. And so I've just made a realization today that I am going to make a new PvP character for my next characters that are going to be coming up.
Oh,
so
cool.
I'm going to do probably I want to do a power tech next, because that's the only class that I haven't really stuck with all the way through. For
Cool.
whatever reason, I'll make a power tech. I play it for like, I don't know, a day and a half, and then I just go bleh. But I think from what I understand, it's really good in PvP, so I'll just level it via that. And
Right.
looking
Are you going
forward to it.
So will you be skipping the story altogether? Or maybe except for the first planet or whatever.
Yeah, I usually like to do the story even if it's just the class story,
Mhm.
just because I seem to pick up a little bit from every time I watch it, I glean something that I didn't know about, or that pertains to another part of a story. So even though I've done them a bunch of times before, I still, get to pick something out. So I'll probably play the class quest, and that's about it. Who knows? I'm so wishy-washy. Probably, I don't know. We'll see when we get there. But that's about it. That's about it.
Cool. All right, then let's see. Let's look and see. It hasn't really updated. Let's see. I know there's more.
Refresh the stream.
Yeah, there's more people that are showing on the list. So, but anyway, okay. Well, Arjar's here. Duck Sauce. Let's see who else. Intisar is here. Let's see.
I have an updated list. If you'd
Squishy
like.
Twitchy. Go ahead. Go ahead and read. I'd appreciate if you read it because mine's not updated.
All right. So I have hello, Captain in Gym or GM.
Oh yeah.
Evans 04111. Jeepo. Intisar Nor. What's up, Intisar? Kitty Kisses. Me, Marcus B814. Hey, Master Lil. Max the Gray. Hey, we were just talking about Max. Outre. Predakill. Arjar. Hey, Arjar. Oh man.
Squishy Twitchy.
Squishy Twitchy.
Nope. Before that. Squid. I can't even say it.
Siskayetska.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually pronounce it Siskayetska.
Yeah, all right, so there it is. Hey, Duck Sauce and Veneros. Hey, Ven. And that's who's here.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
I got your back.
All right. Well, for me, life has been very busy. There's been a lot of things going on in my personal life, so my game time I have been able to play at least a little bit every day, but a lot of times it's a very little bit. It's like I stream for an hour, 2, maybe 3 at the outside, and that's pretty much as I've been able to get in. I didn't also make time, like right after the last show, made time as promised to watch the Mandalorian behind-the-scenes documentaries on Disney Plus. They are excellent, as everyone advised me. They are excellent, and everyone, yeah, exactly. So since they hammered me to watch them, now we got to hammer you to watch them.
So is it multi episodes and it's there's like behind the scenes.
There's 8 episodes and they each focus on a different aspect of production. Some of it's casting, music, effects, stuff like that.
It's so fascinating.
It's really well done. Yeah. It was kind of cool to see that among other things they were going back to like the Kurosawa films and stuff like that for inspiration. Not only because it makes sense, but also because that was one of the original inspirations for Star Wars. That was one of the movies, or one of the directors really that Lucas focused on. Several movies ended up being part of Star Wars, but yeah, that's really cool. So anyway, I really like that. I did manage to get Black Widow all the way done with all of her stories, so she's all the way through Onderon and everything else and all that good stuff. So all my tank and DPS mains are now set up and ready to go.
Wow.
They've got their set bonuses. They've got augments. I'm still working on, like, every once in a while I'll find like the right armoring and I'll pay it until hopefully I'll get the whatever it's called, and if it goes over like 60 or 70,000, then I give up and I dump that one and I wait for another one. But those are coming along too. I'm getting really close on those too. So it's really nice.
I have a question for you guys, because you do the story. So you guys go beginning to end. What is your favorite expansion or story, and what's your least favorite for all of the class stories as a general? Right. So which storyline do you like the best, and which storyline do you like the worst? Chill, go.
Okay. Well, we actually did as a mind trap. We did which expansion was our favorite, and in both of our cases, Kitty and I, we both said Shadow of Revan. And as far as expansions go, I stand by that. For original class stories, it's really tough because I really do like a bunch of them. If you really have to hold my feet to the fire, I always enjoy going through the agent story, because I like how some of the twists and turns it takes are really interesting. Also, like, none of the acts feels like just getting, like, sometimes the act 2, because it's shorter, some of the class stories, like, it feels a little bit like, let's get to the next act, and that's what it's kind of there for a little bit. Not, I'm being, rough, but not with the agent story. Act 2 is like really, really key and really interesting and really wild. So I always say agent, but I love the warrior story. I love the smuggler story on the other side. Bounty hunter is awesome too. So Yeah, there's a bunch of good ones out there.
All of the above.
I'm in the agent story for the first time, and I am
It's
in
great.
chapter 2.
Nice.
For the first time.
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I love some of the things they do with the cutscenes, like the effects and stuff. The mental effects and stuff. That's so cool. Yeah.
That's my favorite too. Of all the stories, I think that the agent is the most complex of all the stories.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like the warrior story because it's so Sith. It's so just cutthroat. Your master's gonna dick you over, and you're like, I like it.
Yeah.
That's my.
And Inquisitor's awesome for me as well. It's not as like straight ahead Sithy, but I like how it goes into like all of like the like the dark side powers and like all these rituals and stuff like that. I think that's always really cool. One thing that I think really works well for both the agent and the smuggler and the bounty hunter, but especially the agent, is that you are like personally you're very powerful, but you are a very small player in a really dangerous game. Like, because of course the Sith Empire is really powerful, but also the Sith themselves, they monopolize the power. They don't want anyone else to have power. And so, the fact that you're able to do what you can do as an agent is really cool. So yeah, works really well.
I love that Zash gets stuck in the Deshad. So you have this big beefy creature that's like, oh, you must go over and get some more artifacts. It always cracks me up. Good stuff.
Right.
What about you, Marcus?
So my favorite class story is the warrior.
Cool.
Marauder forever. My favorite expansion, believe it or not, is Knights of the Fallen Empire.
It's a good one.
That story is fantastic. I think the content cycle of the releasing was fantastic. As a sub to the game, you had something to look forward to every month or every other month.
Right.
The story, the chapter based, I enjoyed it because you could beat it and then replay it and play it a different way, but it wouldn't affect your main story. I don't feel as if the chapters dragged on, because for me, the hardest part of the base class stories, and I know you guys are going to make fun of me and say that's an MMO, but was the long distances you go between quests. So, hey, Sith, I need you to go do XYZ, and you have to traverse in your little car all the way across the planet to get there. And during that time, I'll be driving, and I'll feel like it's like 2 a.m. And, you're driving your friends home because they're drunk, and you're like falling asleep because you're like, I just want to get there and do the quest,
Right.
Where in Knights of the Fallen Empire, the story is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
The quality of it is fantastic. And everybody says, oh, it's a single player story. But really, when you're playing the class story, you're doing it to play it single player.
Yeah.
And when you do a heroic or something, you want to group up. But for the most part, the class story is single player. So for me, Fallen Empire is the best storyline for me in the game.
Very cool.
It's a good one.
And who doesn't love those Zakul knights? The gold armor, and they have the pikes. And when you were first playing that and you were actually under geared, you were like, man, these guys hit like a truck.
Yeah, I remember that. When you're trying to get to level 70.
Yes. And then the Sky Troopers. I don't know. That for me is my favorite expansion.
Have you played it in what's the medium mode? The veteran mode?
Yep. It's tough.
It is tough. Have you played master mode yet?
I only did one. Ooh. And as a Marauder, I couldn't do it. I didn't have the chat is going to kill me for saying this, but for me, I don't have all of the defensives to be able to beat that. I feel like as a Marauder, you're really squishy, and if you're going to do it, you got to be something that can absorb some hits, because a Sky Trooper shoots you, it's like 60k. One shot. Man,
they hit hard. And when there's 2 or let alone 3 golds, you're playing it like a progressive. You kill one, okay, respawn, come back, kill the other one, die, come back, kill the other one, now move on.
Yeah, and that's the only way you can do it.
Yeah, it's tough, but it's
I
so
remember
fun.
Doc did it, and I had to help him with one part of Knights of the Eternal Throne when you're in like the building, and like the enemies are coming through the doorway.
I know exactly
And-
what you're talking about.
Yep, and he's like, I need help. I cannot beat this solo.
I needed help too.
Yep. So, and truly, if you're a story player, those chapters are hard on the harder difficulties. And the vet mode one, I think, is really fun because I'm terrible. Don't tell anybody I said this, but I'm terrible at the whole like giving your companion a job to do. Like, hey, go do this. I'm terrible. I just click and it does what it wants. It stands in the stupid, and I'm just like, all right, it died. I'm done. I don't get it. So when you guys do it and you guys set is it passive? No, where you give your give your companions,
so they'll come to you. Yeah.
When you give your companions the passive and you tell them what to do, it's like you're playing two characters at once, and I'm just like,
I have it hotkeyed.
Yeah, mine's on hotkey as well. Yeah, it can be really helpful to do that in certain hard fights. Yeah, I might have to get you're whetting my appetite. I'm gonna have to go back to doing those because I mean I've only really done a couple of the harder ones, and I think I touched like one of the hardest ones. I don't think I've even completed it, but because I don't.
Well, you should.
Yeah, I should.
Especially
It'll
now
be fun
because you're level 75 and it's geared for level 70, so it won't be as difficult,
right?
But it's still going to be hard. You should do it. That's an awesome thing. I'd love to watch your stream doing that.
Okay.
Have you done them in veteran mode, Chill?
And I'm sorry, which one?
Have you done them in vet mode?
I've done some of them in the middle one, the vet mode. I have not completed any in the hardest mode though. So yeah, I should
do them all in veteran mode and then go give it a try
and go for the hardest
mode. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait
we'll
until
do
it gets to the walkers. Walkers.
I can do the walkers great.
Walker sounds like brutal because some of the walkers are really tuned badly, at least in story mode.
They need to get rid of the cooldown timer on them, and they would be so fun.
Right.
But those cooldown timers, your main attack, 1,000, 2. Okay, now I can do another thing. It's like, oh shit, come on! Yeah. I got people to kill over here.
You know, I remember, and when that came out, that was like the farm for what were they called?
The boxes.
Command points.
Yeah, command. Mm-hmm.
Yep, and you had to farm it. But I'm telling you, Chill, give it a try because it's
fun.
Cool.
It's fun.
All right.
And you and personally, I like a little bit of a challenge, and it makes you use your class correct.
Right. And and with my tank, Juggernaut, or Guardian, that I might be able to do some of the hardest ones potentially. So
yeah, probably on
that might be fun. Might depend on the chapter though. I mean, some of those chapters, like when you have Vicina who is like, level 1 and whatever, some of those are going to be kind of brutal.
But you have to level Darth Maul up. You got to get him to at least level 50 in order to be able to do, or 30, at least to be able to do that Master Mode chapter. Nice. So you're actually going to have to do the companion gift and
bring a bunch of gifts with you.
Yes. It's Christmas on every chapter.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. All right. What else did we do? I did some PvP on the tank Juggernaut and Guardian. It's pretty fun, I always enjoy it when I come back to it, and yet I always end up doing other leveling and stuff because I am thinking of making a droid character as much as one can be. Like one I've seen some armor sets out there that really do make the body look like it's actually a droid, like there's thin parts that could not support organic stuff. The helmet's a little tricky because a lot of the helmets look like there actually could be a human head under there.
Oh, right.
In fact, it's going to be hard to find one that really technically couldn't be, but I found some interesting ones.
There's one that looks like just a brain. There's some sort of
the one that the old emperor, right? The old emperor one. Yeah.
No, it has like these weird spikes that come out of it. I'll find it and I'll send you it.
Or when in doubt, use the HK55 armor set that you got from.
I looked at that, but you know what? Like it if you look at it closely, you can actually see some of the jawline and stuff underneath. So it doesn't quite work. I thought of that too, because it's like it seems natural, but yeah, it really is more of a mask than it is like a full head covering. So
like the 70s Halloween ones.
Yeah, I think I wrote down like some of the ones that kind of worked. Spectres could work, Fearsome Harbinger, Stalkers, Temple Guardian, Bionic Warrior.
I like the Temple Guardian. That's a good one. Yep.
Yeah, there's some definitely some cool ones, and some of them are really hard to get though. So we'll see. I'll think about it. This would probably be a bounty hunter, I'm thinking, but I haven't really made any real final decisions. But yeah, definitely not a force user, obviously. But
a sniper, so you can be like HK, an assassin droid. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. So let's move on to the tip of the week. And who added the extra tip bit here at the beginning?
I
did.
Audible actually from last episode.
Okay.
We were talking about the arrows, and it ends up that the arrows are on regardless of auto target being on or off. So you'll have a solid triangle, or you'll have a silhouetted triangle. But
cool.
It doesn't matter either way. I just thought it was maybe if it was only if you had auto target on, but it's not.
Okay.
It's either way.
So maybe if you do like next target, regardless of auto target, it'll actually tell you which one it's likely to go to next.
That's right. Yeah.
Cool.
It'll tell you exactly what one.
Right.
So
well,
okay,
exactly. But then, like something moves and then it decides, oh, okay, it's going to be a different one.
Right.
I love when that happens. It's like, okay, target next. Oh, yeah, target next. All right, I'll click on it. I do that all the time.
I do that too. Screw it.
All right, Marcus, and I do see that you did add one. Go ahead and give it to us.
So I destroyed 4 top level augments because of this. So what I learned is when you're switching augments out, do not right click them and it says replace them, because when you do that, the current augment that is in your gear gets destroyed.
Yeah.
So you actually have to click and drag it into the inventory.
Right.
Now, somebody in chat or you guys may tell me you don't have to do that. But like I said, I lost 4 augments, so please, players, don't do that.
Do it the safe way.
Drag it out.
Pull it out first. Yeah.
Were you just like, let's get rid of these? Right click, right.
Right click, and then it says, would you like to remove for 77,000 credits? Sure. And as soon as I did that, the other augment didn't end up in my inventory. It just destroys it and replaces it with the other thing.
That hurts.
Oof.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not replacing where it is in inventory. It's just replacing it in the slot, and the other one go bye-bye. Oh, that hurts.
Yep. So now I'm waiting for 4 more augments.
Yeah. They're expensive.
Hint, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. They're like 5 million a piece, if you're going to buy them. Yeah. And if you're going to make them, it takes a while. I mean, that's what I've been, I have 2 sets because I'm not going to do 4 sets, and it took me a long time to make, whatever that is, 28 augments or 28 augments. Oof.
Yep.
Oh, so crazy.
Okay. So that is a very good tip. That's a multi-million credit tip.
Yeah.
I saved you millions.
Exactly.
Send me augments.
All right. We did get one from listeners. Droid Dreamer sent one in. Droid Dreamer here previously wrote in to give a tip about how to know which way to run with the hut ball. My previous tip was that whenever you have the ball, a gold or purple light beam will appear centered on your character. Whatever that color is, run to the opposite color end zone. And today I have another tip on how to get oriented in hut ball. Follow the arrows. Whenever you have the ball, arrows on your minimap and on the floors and walls of the hut ball map will point towards the enemy end zone. These color arrows switch color and direction depending on who has the ball. If your team has the ball, follow the arrows to the enemy end zone. If the enemy team has the ball, the arrows will point to your own team's spawn point. And there you go. So thank you, Droid Dreamer. Appreciate that. I
did not know that.
It's amazing how many details there are in the game. Yeah. I'm trying to think. The ones I usually notice are like along the sides, but yeah, the arrows kind of end up being everywhere, depending on where you're looking. Though it's a little harder on the original one, but and I know that the newer ones are kind of gone, but at least for now. But like in Quesh, they have those ramps. and like there's a little bit of a railing, and the whole railing has like arrows on it that show you. That's the one that kind of comes to mind when I think of those arrows. But there are similar ones in the Nar Shaddaa one that is currently still active.
Yeah, I'm not a very strong swimmer when it comes to PvP, and somebody threw me the hut ball, and I was like, which way do I go? Do I go with the arrows? Do I go without the arrows? And I'm yelling at chat, and they're like, go against them, go with them, go. I'm like, oh, pass the ball, get it out of here.
Right. All right, and a little mini tip from me for tech points. If you're at the point in the game where your characters are kind of geared up and you're just kind of banging up and you've got 10,000 tech points, you can go to Osis, and there's a decoration vendor there. It doesn't cost any credits. It only costs tech points. And you can get 50 each. Unfortunately, they're bound, so you can't gift them to your guild, unfortunately. So I can't get them to just gift them to the guilds, but I am sort of building up the Osis decorations, and you can get 50 of each. It's too bad that's also not higher, but whatever. There are some nice ones, like there's some of those like Geonosian eggs. There's some of those like Jedi statues, like one of them's even headless. The different variations. Some critter type stuff. Yeah, there's some good stuff. There's even like a drip effect. You put it on the ceiling, and it creates like a slime drip effect below it, which is pretty cool.
They have a lot of cool colors too.
Yeah, and multiple colors of some of them. So there's definitely some, and unfortunately, there's not a lot else to do with tech points at this time. I'm assuming you've got the like the renown point boosts. And those actually do cost credits as well as tech points, but I've got plenty of those now. So, all right. So, since there's only one person whose tip is actually eligible, so Droid Dreamer, thank you and congratulations on winning a Tonfon M83R Droid Pet Code or M2B9 Droid Pet Code, courtesy of BioWare, and a new Ootinicast provided Cartel Market Pack from the latest shipment. If you'd like a chance to win the same, send your tips to ootinicast@gmail.com before the next show. And that will bring us to the Mind Trap. And I sent this out a week ago based on an idea from KittyKissz. So thank you, Kitty. And yeah. And the question I put out is, how many characters do you have in SWTOR? Please retweet. And this for this show, of course, 1 through 4, 5 to 10, 11 through 20, and then 21 plus. I was kind of taking a shot in the dark when I chose these numbers. I mean, I had a logic behind it. My basic idea was, okay, 1 through 4, that's like, one main, maybe a mirror main, maybe a banking alt, and that's about it. Or maybe you're just new to the game. 5 to 10, okay, that's like 1 for every, base class in the game. 11 through 20, we're talking about 1 for every advanced class. And then 21 plus is for crazy people like me. So, and that's sort of the logic I had for choosing those particular numbers, but it turns out that was actually kind of an interesting way to go about it, because we got one of the higher vote tallies. People were interested in this question, which was cool. 119 retweets alone, 1,596 votes.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of votes. And the winner out of these 4 had only 28%, 28.2%. And the loser had 19.7%. There was only an 8%, 9%, less than 9% difference between the winner and the loser in this one. That's kind of crazy. So 1 through 4 was the lowest, technically, at 19.7. And then 5 to 10 was second lowest, 25.6. The 21 plus, which is where I am, of course, is 26.6. And that was second highest. And the most was 11 through 20. So 11 through 20, very, very common, and 28.2%. So that was kind of cool. You guys have any thoughts on this? I assume also that you're also 21 plus.
Yeah, me, I'm 21 plus.
Yeah, I knew you would be.
Even
How about
on
you,
the server
Marcus?
I don't play on.
How about you, Marcus?
I was surprised actually that I think it's my own psyche, but I thought everybody had 21 tunes. And now I'm like,
right.
Oh, I got a problem.
Okay, Marcus, how many do you have?
I have 11 to 20.
Nice, okay.
But 11 of them are Marauders.
Ah.
I think I have around 11 Marauders too.
That's
so
funny.
for me, like I don't even have legendary status, right? So I need to work on that part.
Yeah, that's my favorite
But
flare, actually. It looks really good.
yeah, but for me, it's mostly because before they changed the lockout system for story mode, you needed to like I needed a few marauders because if we cleared Dread Palace one night, the next night the team decides to do Dread Palace, I didn't have a tune. And so it's one of those things where for me I created all those tunes, but again, I haven't even finished the class stories, so tuck that somewhere.
Okay. How many stories do you have missing, do you think?
So I think I've completed 3 out of the
Okay.
8.
Wow, you have a lot of story left to see. That's awesome.
It's I spent my time playing the I took my time with my Marauder story, the main class, and then I did the Bounty Hunter and the Jedi, of course. But then I got into raiding, and now it seems like when I play, I'm raiding. And like I said, the hardest part for me with the stories are that space in between the quests.
Right.
And I haven't found something to make it an adventure for me to do that keeps me like, okay, I got to get there. Because by the time I get there, I'm like, all right, great. And then after about 30 minutes, I'm like, I'm going to go do something else.
Here's what you do. I got you. Okay, what you're going to do is go to every planet before you get there and unlock all the travel points. And then go to the next planet, unlock all the travel points. It won't take you very long. Put on, a podcast, put some Metallica on, and then figure it out. So when you get to the planet, all your travel points are unlocked. And you can just go boop, 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 and you're done. It's super
Interesting.
quick.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, it's not bad. I actually do that for, like when I get to Yavin, for instance, also Ossus. They're really good places to just go and unlock all the quick travel points because the story is going to take you there anyway. And a lot of times, you end up having to quick travel, but then you have to taxi after that. And if you've already unlocked it, you just quick travel right to where you need to go.
Right.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. Starry Saber's like, only 21 plus. What about 100 plus?
Whoa.
That's fair. That's fair enough. I suppose, like if I had like, if it had been like way unbalanced, like if it was like, 5%, 5%, 5%, and then like everyone else had 21 plus, I would probably almost have to follow up with something like that. But since this is actually pretty even, I'm pretty happy with the results, I think. But yeah, there are definitely some people with crazy amounts of characters out there. I'm not the most extreme, but I've got, I'm somewhere in the 50s on Satil Shan, and then I have, some other characters that I need for other servers, because I give I give stuff for like, if the person who wins the tip of the week is on, the European server, I have to have a character on there to send it out,
Right.
stuff like that. So I have characters on every server, but Satil Shan's, the one where I have like crazy amounts of them. So that was cool.
I don't even.
Yeah.
That server doesn't ring a bell to me.
All right, then. Let's go on to the holo feed. Let's see. So, Nar Shaddaa Nightlife, which actually I have been doing a fair bit of when, like the other day when I was doing some PvP, I was just doing it from the Nightlife area and just like, hitting a few slots until the next Warzone popped. So that worked pretty well. That is still going. It will go until August 25th. Personally, I'm planning on like maybe not the last day because I don't want to forget and then oops, now it's gone. But right towards the end, maybe the last 2-3 days, something like that, go on all the characters I've been on doing things on and see if they have any, especially Emperor chips, and then get all that done, taken care of, and then get all the all the golden certificates and cartel market certificates and get them all mushed together on one character, on in my inventory, so I can actually, so I don't have to think about it. And if I need a cartel certificate or whatever, and I'll also spend the golden certificates. Actually, I'm probably not going to save too many of those, but yeah. So I don't know about your guys' plans, but that's how I'm going to handle it. How about you, Kitty?
I have a tip.
Go for it.
The vendors for the nightlife event are there year round. So even if you don't spend them, you can go and get stuff later on for future tunes.
Cool.
Or something like that. So
I'd forgotten
like
that, so thank you.
To spend
You're right.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. That's very nice.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it. I had I got 2 of the new mounts.
Which one? The Vectron, whatever, the Wraith,
the creature mount.
Oh, the creature mount, the nice one, the Kingpin Predator.
There you go. I was stoked to get it. I was on stream.
I haven't gotten one yet. I keep trying, but I have not gotten lucky.
I had someone in stream win 2 of those in 2 pulls.
Whoa, nice.
It was very like, holy crap.
I'm hoping to get at least one, because I figure that I will definitely find a character who will have one of the, who can fit, personality wise, that kind of mount. And I also just really curious to see what it looks like, up close in game and all that.
Beautiful.
So, I usually rely on the podcast to remind me when it's going to end, because I'm terrible. You can tell me it's ending August 25th, but I will forget. Right. And it'll be August 27th and say, hey, I'm in the casino. And
where'd it go?
Like, it ended 2 days ago.
Right.
Oops. So what I need to do is almost take Kitty's advice of play some music in the background and go there and just spend some time clicking on it.
Yeah.
If
you've been doing a lot of, operations, you must have gotten some Emperor coin drops.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know.
Okay. Well, go to the right in your inventory. It'll be in the right tab for that character. And
do you have to win to get them?
You don't. No, they just drop as just drops from bosses a lot of times, and from other things too. But boss drops and operations and flashpoints have a pretty high drop rate. So you will definitely have. Yeah, you will definitely have some. I'd be surprised. I'd be really surprised if you didn't have like at least several, maybe even a bunch, depending on how busy you've been. That's awesome.
Use your heroic quick travel, and then that way you don't have to worry about flying into Nar Shaddaa. You just boop, quick travel, and then quick travel up to the casino.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it too. Or if you use, like me, if you use this Nar Shaddaa as your main stronghold, you can exit to Nar Shaddaa from your stronghold, and you end up on the promenade. You can do it from there as well. Anyway, so that is active. Still there's a lot of decos. There's a bunch of the mounts from previous times, and as well that you can buy with the golden certificates. I've got like four of the Rhodian companion now.
I don't know.
Whenever I win a golden certificate, I always think, we've got a golden ticket. And I crave chocolate.
Right.
I think of Veruca Salt.
There we go.
It's mine.
All right. Let's see what else is going on this week. Well, starting today and going for the next week is Bounty Contract Week. And so if you're into the Bounty Contract Week, it is back. So you can get out on those. What about it?
I need help with it. Okay. So I originally did, when you like click on the guys holding like the guy in the carbonite, and it gave you that original mission the first time you did it?
Sure.
I've done that.
Okay.
Really want to do it? Where do you go from there?
Oh, okay.
I can't click on it again.
There's nothing to click again.
So I constantly go there, and I can't tell you how many expletives that I have dropped going, I'm clicking on the carbonite and it doesn't work. Why are did BioWare fix the game?
You're in the right general area. If you're on the fleet, clicking on that thing, you're actually close, because you go to the Cartel Bazaar, and there's a thing there pretty much right inside where the Cartel Bazaar is.
Right.
Yeah, you basically go straight when you go through the elevator thing to get to the bazaar, and it'll be pretty much right there.
You can also quick travel there. So when you're on Fleet, hit your quick travel button, and it will show you two different destinations that you can go while on Fleet, and one of them is the Cartel Bazaar.
Yeah.
I need to do that because I really I liked it. The first one that I did, I was like, all right, so this is fun. And like go somewhere and kill something. Even I don't know if it's easier or harder as it goes. But for me, like I really want to do it, but I am clicking on that carbonate thing and it's not doing anything. And I've quit. Like a year ago, I quit. I was like, they don't like me. I can't figure it out. And I've always been so embarrassed to ask somebody because I feel like I should know that answer. So I just let it go and I act like, oh yeah, bounty contract week. I love that.
Yeah,
well,
my favorite.
When you're picking up that mission, go across the room to the cartel vendors and look for the things that you can buy with cartel market certificates, because you can get those from the nightlife event, and that way you'll know, hey, you know, if I get blah blah blah, I can get this die that I really need, or this piece of armor that looks really awesome, or this mount. Like for example, there's a really cool green Varactyl that I got for Poison Ivy. And she uses that that's one of her main mounts right now. So, and it's available. I think it was like 7 cartel market contracts, something like that. But
yeah, some of that stuff is great.
Not contracts, but anyway, cartel certificates. So yeah,
the weapons too are really cool that you can get for those the bounty hunter broker things.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, right. They say here, like the Assassin's Bowcaster and the Elite Tracker's Bowcaster. Bowcasters are kind of rare in the game.
Yeah.
I remember when Treek came along, there was a short period of time when you like, it didn't happen at first, and they've taken it away since, but there was a period of time where you could actually use her Bowcaster. And it was really cool to actually have a bowcaster for a while, but that doesn't happen anymore.
Sure.
Nice.
All right, and also later this month, Pirate Incursion. That's the one on Dantooine. Will be back August 25th to September 1st, and that has all those, including a Cathhound mount, which is really cool. There's a Walker mount, a Cathhound mini pet. So there are some really nice stuff. Ugnaught companions. Ugnaught's not my favorite species in the game, but it's very classic, obviously. All right. And then, let's see, from the devs, Chris Schmidt wrote something about a small yield invasion target for Swoop Gang Mayhem. So last time they did the Swoop Gang, they had like the medium and large sort of, ones for the guilds, and people were having troubles like completing it because a lot of people were doing the swoop racing event. So he writes, when we created the new Swoop Gang Mayhem Conquest, we wanted to thematically mirror the planets the guilds could invade with the planets that had tracks and contents for the event. Dantooine, Tatooine, and Onderon. Makes sense. I mean, match the planets to the ones where the swoop races are. Unfortunately, this created a situation where there was an imbalance in the size of planets available to invade, punishing those guilds who coordinate their conquest activities around a small yield planet being available each week. In other words, the smaller guilds. What we're doing about it. Beginning in the next All Worlds Ultimate Swoop Rally event on September 22nd, there will be a small yield planet, in addition to large and medium, available every time the event returns. In the longer term, and this is kind of interesting too, we are exploring decoupling planets from large, medium, small yield rewards to add some variety each invasion week, meaning a planet now categorized as small yield could show up as a large yield planet, or vice versa. And then they'll talk more details later as they have them. But for now, to recap, every Conquest week will feature at least one large, medium, and small yield planet to invade going forward. The Swoop Gang Mayhem Conquest will be updated to reflect this for all future occurrences. And then longer term, we're exploring more variety in which planets you can invade and what size tier they are in. Pretty cool.
Break it up a bit. That's good.
Yeah. There have been we usually the Utini guilds are large enough that we do pretty well, but there have been a couple times recently where we tried to go large on both sides and we made one but not the other, for instance, and it's always a little bit of a bummer, like you log in and on half your characters that you did conquest on, there's no conquest end of conquest reward waiting for you because the guild just didn't quite make it. So That's only happened a few times, recently, but it does happen. So it's nice that that they'll be having the small ones also. So I'm pretty happy about that.
I got a question. Do you
yeah.
guys do the conquest? I know. Oh, actually, I know Utini makes conquest is a big deal for your guild, right?
Yeah, we kind of revolve our some of our like the Jar Jar Joyrides around it and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
On Satil Shan, do you guys have like one guild that wins the planets every week after week after week? So on Starforge, I'll give an example. Sanctuary, Dark Sanctuary, Light Sanctuary, The Sanctuary, all these super guilds are always the ones that win the planets. And all of, like, if you ever want to be the Galactic Conqueror, you actually have to join that guild in order to get it, because you're never going to win it. And you're never going to get it because, like, you don't have a shot to win these planets week after week.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if it... I haven't been paying close enough attention to know if it's a very small set like that, but where they're all the same name and so on. But I definitely noticed the same names. You know what I mean? There are definitely some big guilds out there that put the hammer down on some planets for sure. Yeah, in the Utini guilds, we're big enough that a lot of times we can show up on the top 10 sometimes, but we're rarely in the top half of the top 10.
Yeah,
and we're really mostly going for the yield itself. And then if we go beyond that and show up on the top 10 or whatever, we're happy, but we're really in it for the yield event. So, yep.
Yeah, I haven't noticed either if there's any particular guild that's constantly making that large yield every time. I know there used to be some. I used to call them Walmart guilds, because there was just so many people in them, and they just destroy everything else underneath it. It's just there's nothing there's no way you could beat them.
Right. Jupeos writing in chat some of the ones that on Satil Shan that are big and usually win: Ancient Jedi and Sith orders. So there's one for each side, and it's like Ancient Jedi Order and Ancient Sith Order. The Steel Court, I definitely remember that name, and the Eternal Order are some of the ones that often win. So that's pretty cool. Sure. I mean, I don't know if cool or not, but it is what it is. I mean, if you have a guild that's really large and you focus on like not just having people do a ton of alts on them, but actually having active people, and you're actually going for that, that's gonna work for you. So, and it does. There wasn't a ton of other stuff from the devs this week. There was a bunch of bug acknowledgments, but since they usually don't give a hint as to when they might be fixed or whatever, they're just saying that yes, we know about them. It's not really a whole lot of point in mentioning them, especially since this time around there were mostly bugs that we've talked about before. So, like the bright banners in the Alliance headquarters, stuff like that. There were a couple of minor exceptions. There was a bug just in the last day or so with login issues. Apparently that one got fixed, but it was an issue for a little while. And one that I haven't seen anything about it being fixed yet, at least as of right before this episode started. Character transfers, there's some sort of bug going on with that. So if you're doing character transfers, you might want to check and see if there's any indication that they've fixed whatever the bug that is. 'Cause at least as of right now, that didn't seem to be the case. It seems to be some sort of issue. Not necessarily for everyone, but for some people. So, and I heard I remember reading something about how they were like putting character transfers on hold, but I haven't actually seen any follow-up to that either. So I'm not sure what the status is right now for character transfers, but apparently there's something going on. Finally, happy 76th birthday to our Emperor Palpatine, Ian McDiarmid, born this day in 1944. Very cool. So yeah. Do it.
I hear that in my mind every time I'm like tempted to buy a bag of cookies or something. Like, do it.
My big regret is the last celebration that happened. I had my chimney collapsed on my house, and I had to take all of my.
Wow. Was this
I had to take all of my celebration money and rebuild my chimney.
Oh yeah.
And I was going to pay the money to get the picture with the Emperor and Anakin. because that's the one. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that picture is not going to be there forever. And
Yeah, I mean, he's
I'm really
76.
angry at COVID-19 because they're screwing up celebration this year.
Right.
Because I was getting that picture.
Yep. Alrighty, that'll bring us to the Force feedback. And Droid Dreamer sent in a little message in addition to his tip of the week. And Droid Dreamer wrote, "Hutball is the primary reason I play SWTOR." That's pretty cool. And it's a pretty bold statement, too. Not just PvP, but specifically Hutball. He continues, I think it's a he. "Nothing beats the excitement of passes, fire kills, and scores. I must admit, I do love pushing and pulling people into fire. Or just stunning them when they're running across. So much fun. No PvP match better shows the rock, paper, scissors nature of the various classes, so I was very disappointed to learn that patch 6.1.2D removed 2 of the Hutball maps and changed the PvP map rotation in a way to make Hutball more rare, and we did talk about that when it happened. I understand that players don't like the purely objective-based play of Hutball, however, I have observed that the PvPers who don't play the objective in Hutball are also the players who refuse to cap nodes, defend nodes, or otherwise play the objective. The solution is a solo unranked PvP queue so that duelists can duel, and those who like team play can play as a team." That'd be interesting to actually have like a duelist PvP situation. I'll bet you some people would be into that.
Yeah.
Do it as you could. They could do it probably in the arena maps, but it would be 1-on-1. That'd be interesting, actually.
That would be interesting.
With or without companions, I'm not sure, but either way would be kind of cool.
No companions.
No companions. Hardcore.
No companions. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
That's right. All right, and also wanted to make sure that everyone knows, and it's been getting a lot of pop on Twitter and so on, so I'm not, you may have already heard this, but Duck Sauce TDS Gaming is going to be doing 2 really cool interviews. Of course, one of them is going to be with Dr. Gameology, our previous co-host, and that's going to be Tuesday, August 18th. I'm excited to hear about that. That one's going to be focusing around mental health and psychology and mindset of players. So everyone watch for that with Duck Sauce. The other one is going to be on August 22nd. So both of these are coming right up. August 22nd, he's going to be interviewing Eric Dellums, who plays Prince Arkin. So Arkin's going to be on stream for Duck Sauce. So follow Duck Sauce on Twitch. Make sure you know what stream he's got. Get in there, follow him and all that. Do all that good stuff. Make sure that you catch this because this is gonna be really cool. Dr. Gameology. That's gonna be again Tuesday the 18th, and then August 22nd. You didn't write which day of the week that is, but let me check. It's Saturday. So that's gonna be Arkin, the voice of Arkin, Eric Dellums. Very cool. Nice get.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And Duck Sauce, I think it's important that you get Arkin to say Ootini Rage.
That'd be awesome, yeah.
So, and believe it or not, it takes a lot of guts to be able to message these actors and actresses. When we had Holly Fields on the show, I just started messaging her and she responded right away. Mm-hmm. But I've had other people that didn't, and then they said they weren't interested.
Sure.
One actor told me that they wanted $1,000 to come on the show.
Oh my God.
So Duck Sauce is very good. That's awesome.
That is really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Quit setting the bar so high, Duck Sauce.
Nice. And we are going to do a little mini Sarlacc digest where we go over the issues for 1,000 years or until we run out of time. And Marcus, you have like a thing that you're doing and you want us to do too, and go ahead and tell us what it is.
We have the whole community. So we have, it's almost like we're separated now, as whether you started playing 2 months ago, you're a veteran now because SWTOR is on Steam, right? And we've seen so many new players. Yep. I actually did a veteran mode flashpoint. What's the one with all the little raccoons that come after you?
Oh, there's two of them.
It's like the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Because the waves just keep coming.
Yes.
In the
Forget the
flashpoint.
name
I don't
of
know I don't know the name. So, but usually this is what you hear during a
Kaon or Lost Island. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you do when you're playing a flashpoint now. This is what you hear because of everybody space barring through the
the story.
story.
Right.
Now you're doing that, and the players that you're playing with are like level 22, and they're watching it.
Right.
And like you're waiting for them to click their decision tree, and you're like, okay, pick. And they actually think about it, and so you get into talking with them, and like, this is the first time I've ever done this, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is the first time you've ever done this flashpoint. And so I got an idea in my head, and there's going to be more details to come, but I wanted to ask you guys, each of you, for a new player, what is your number one tip to tell a new player to do? If I downloaded SOTOR right now, what would be the one tip you tell me? Because you have, one time to tell me one thing that I have to do to make my experience better. What would it be?
I would say just take your time, go slow. There's no rush going through this game. Enjoy the story. Don't spacebar if you don't want to. And because all you're doing with SWOTOR is you're speeding up to get to the end, and it's the journey, not the destination with this game. I think just slow down and smell the roses.
Right. I would say that would actually be my main one. But I would say, other than that, rocket boost, baby. Get rocket boost as fast as you can. You do not have to be a subscriber to attach a security key, and when you do, you get 100 per month of cartel coins. You can also get cartel coins from from the first time on a server that you do the class stories. Usually, the first planet is basically what it is. There are ways to like get little bits of cartel coins together, and then as soon as you can, buy Rocket Boost. And if you can afford it, get the upgrades as well and get it completely unlocked. But even the first one is just game changing.
For me, I have two things I want to say to new players. First is go into your abilities tab and click the sprint button.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
make sure it's
now
on.
that right, make sure it's on, because for me, when I first played this game, I was like, oh my Lord, it takes forever to get anywhere. Now your speed, the sprint helps the pace of the game so much.
It really does. Yeah.
And then the second is, and everybody knows it, is go to YouTube, type in Sotorista and watch the Academy from episode 1.
Yeah.
Because I feel like all players, when you get into this game, it's not like, oh yeah, I'm playing this new game, SOTOR. It's, I'm playing this awesome game. I want to consume the videos. I want to consume the podcast. I want to know as much as I want. Next thing you know, you're Googling Darth Revan and Darth Malik and what is SOTOR and where is this in the timeline? And you get so hooked as soon as you land on that first planet and get called a slave. You know what I mean? And if you're going to consume content, make sure you check out Sotorista's page, because
do it.
She
do it.
I mean, she explains to you what an MMO is in the first episode.
She does.
And
yeah, she knocks it out of the park with those. She's just
extremely
she's gotten
thorough.
So good at doing those.
Right. So, and as all of these podcasts have been out for so long, we forget about it. And the Steam launch has changed the landscape for us, because no longer is it the original player base. We actually have new players. And I downloaded the game on Steam, and it's flawless. and it makes it easier because now when Steam opens, all of the games that I play are now there in Steam, and it actually makes the step less.
Nice. Have you been able to unlock any of those pictures or backgrounds that they've talked about?
I don't think it's unlocked yet. I think they got the game done, and now once they release all that stuff, then you'll get it.
Cool.
I know they're previewable now. You can actually go through and check out what all the unlocks are.
Sure.
But I'm still waiting. Give it a month or two.
Right. And so new players, welcome, and feel free to find me or find anybody that's Ootini or on the Starforge AIE, because we're always willing to help.
Excellent. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about at this point, Marcus?
Listen to Working Class Nerds. Come see me on Twitch.
Dang right.
Twitch.tv/MarcusB814.
Do it. Marcus is great.
Saturday and Sunday nights are my night.
Excellent. All right, then. That's a show. If you'd like to play with us in the Ootini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Satil Shan server, or in our
Ootini Rage
Guild on the Empire side, do a /C join Ootini to join the Ootini channel. Then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to ootinicast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using @Ootinicast. You can find contact details for us on our website, ootinicast.com, which includes how to subscribe using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live bi-weekly, normally at 4 p.m. on Tuesdays, Pacific time. Go to ootinicast.com/live to find out how to join in. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. And thank you to the chat room, and thank you, Marcus.
Thank you, guys.
It was great to finally meet you.
Yeah, sure was. And thanks, chat room. You guys were always awesome.
Awesome. And we'll see you next show. All right.
Hi, chat room.
Thanks for coming, everyone. And we'll catch you next time. All right. I'm going to stop the stream, stop the recording.